welcome to the Cosmic Echoes. Morning, Sue. How are you doing? Echoes today.
Well, it's a beautiful day. So
It is.
I'm kind of cool with this. If it's sunny, which it is.
Yeah, it helps. And it's this fresh energy in the air a little bit. You know, if you don't put the news on, everything seems almost okay.
Don't put the news on. That is absolutely it. Well, it's really interesting because with the day after we're recording this the day after the new moon in which was very, very powerful in Aquarius. We had a stellium, you can call it a stellium. So there's a feeling of very a futuristic or it's a pokey energy. Aquarius carries the water of the wisdom. That's its job, to impart that to humanity. And by God, we need wisdom at the moment because there's so much weird stuff going on. And Aquarius is all about being weird.
Yeah.
I do think there is this sense of, I don't know, I was talking to a friend yesterday and I said that I feel like we're walking into Philip Pullman's Dark Materials at the moment. It's got that strange vibe to it that I can't even begin to put into words, but it feels like things are walking abroad.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And there's Uranus. So Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Am I right?
It certainly is. And it's currently in Taurus. Yes, absolutely.
And it just went direct as well.
Yes. And it's going to be moving at some point into, it moves into Gemini. Not until July.
Yeah.
But there is this sense of building up, and Uranus in Gemini, that's pokey stuff. And I think it's going to blow open secrets, or it's not going to stand for them, or we're going to see major shifts in the balance of power as well. So we're in for a pretty pokey time. This whole year, I'll put a link below actually for that we talked a lot about this in our 2025 forecasting. We did that a couple of days
last
ago.
week only.
Yeah. So I'm not. There's no point going more into this now because you can actually anybody's listening to this.
Have a look.
They can.
Anyway,
Aquarian energy is really is sparking off February's vibe.
No, there's a lot of things because I've been watching all the interesting conversations you've been having as well. Well, I kind of dip into a little bit, and you had, and I can't remember her name now. She's lovely, the Chinese astrologer.
Oh, Brayne.
Yes. So it was wonderful to kind of have a view into that time, this time, you know, it's a Chinese or Lunar New Year as well, in the Irish folklore. It's the festival of Brige, goddess, which is Imoblc. That's coming through. It's all this wisdom. Brige was also kind of associated with wisdom, and you know, I love myth because it's kind of this psychology of the collective consciousness, I feel.
Well, that's Aquarius. You know, the Aquarius carries the energy of freedom and independence, and also holds universal truth. That's carrying the waters of wisdom. It's about community and technology and cosmology. And do you know these drones and UFO stuff? It's not going to go away.
Well, it's been around for so long, you know, where it's been, I feel like this, when we've spoken about this before, like this veil thing, you know, and this veil is not only lifting, it's also becoming thinner. Like, you know, hang on a minute, you can't keep this from us anymore. We are Aquarian, we are part of, you know, we are the people, we need to be involved in our own future.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, that the Aquarian New Moon, which is, and I think we need to really expect a lot of protests becoming. It's, you know, sitting on Imoblc, the urgency of spring, the get out there, go, this very strong. It's building up to Aries, you know, the beginning of the beginning of spring, so that there is this urgency now. And I wonder if we're going to see a lot more protests linked to, you know, very powerful technocracy, or, you know, the techno oligarchs, or, you know, the stuff around Trump was really interesting. I don't know where this is going to go, but I feel that Uranus in Taurus, as it makes its transition into Gemini, and this is all this year, and I think it's really being held by this new moon on the 29th in Aquarius. We want a new way of doing things, and I think it could be quite dodgy financially this year.
There's also a Jupiter element here, isn't there? Today specifically, there is a trine. Yes, with the Sun and Jupiter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So and Jupiter it expands everything. So it's going to be it's in fixed signs. You know, Jupiter is in what am I talking about? Hang on a second. Jupiter, sorry, it's in air signs. So we've got Aquarius in fixed signs, and we've got Jupiter is in Gemini, which is mutable sign, but this is air. It's all about communication, whether it's in the skies, whether it's UFOs, or whether it's on land, or whether it's a technical stuff, or Zoom, or whatever it is. This is setting the scene for Imoblc, the beginning of spring.
But now I want to just pull in here a little bit. You know, I feel this contrasting energy within this Imoblc. Where it feels like there's a blossoming, but it's also, although it's moving towards spring, it's also the middle point between the solstice and the spring equinox. So we know we're not there yet. We kind of know that it's coming, but I feel we still need to rest.
I don't think rest is possible.
Yeah.
I honestly don't, and I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
We're off and running now.
Yeah.
Aquarius is like, no, that Aquarius isn't rest, it is to off. And having said this, February has a Leo full moon, or it's called the snow moon traditionally. Sometimes it's called the cold moon. I love those names for it. And that's on February the 12th. And it's around about almost 2 o'clock UK time. Now, it forms a fixed T-square with Uranus as the apex in Taurus. Now, this might indicate further rebellion against the status quo, or this sudden financial upheaval caused by the moon in Leo. Now, moon in Leo can be the hubris of the rich.
Oh, interesting.
It could be opposing the needs of the people, which is Sun in Aquarius. And Mercury is conjunct the Sun in Aquarius. So I think it's really about helping us to see what things really are. So I think it's going to be very interesting, and also it leads the way to the beginning of this very strong stellium in Pisces,
which is water again. That wisdom.
Well, it can be. I think it's important to look at both the negatives and positives of Pisces. Pisces is very creative. It's very idealistic, and it can be very drawn to believing things that aren't necessarily true because it wants to. It wants everything to be nice, everything to be compassionate. Let's all just go and be fluffy.
Yeah. But the North Node is now in Pisces as well. Is that right?
That's right. Yes. And it's all going to be, it's just being conjunct Neptune it's just conjuncting Neptune. I think we've just got to get real about what's happening. I
Yeah.
think Pisces is a beautiful sign for visions.
Yeah.
And thankfully, for me, Saturn's in Pisces too. And for me, that grounds that Piscean energy.
Mm.
It's, you know, how can we make our visions, our idealism, how do we make it real? And it may, around the middle of the month, there may be some people having to have reality checks.
Middle of February, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over this. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I love the fact it's a new full moon in Leo. Leo is it's a beautiful sign because it's terribly creative. It's very
Yeah.
effective, but it's
Yeah.
full of hubris. If that's the lower aspect of I'm right, you're wrong, and also it likes being the sovereign. So this is how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right opposite Aquarius that goes, no, we don't want to do it like that
I
anymore.
do it my way.
So,
I'm talking to an Aquarian, so I know you know what you're talking about.
so I do think there is, in February, coming on the back of that new moon on the 29th of January, I do think there could be some major things coming to the surface that we go, oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or it's been playing out for a long time.
Yeah. And I see something emerging around China. You know, there's a lot of technology, this deep seek that is now making a lot of noise or bringing a lot of attention, trust issues as to we don't trust China, but we trust America. We do we?
No.
You know?
Not anymore. I mean, to be honest with you, America's it's like every great nation that has ruled, you know, it's the same with the British. We had the British Empire and we peaked and we've gone over the top. We've peaked and we're now going down to the bottom of the wheel and we're heading down there. Our time is done. And America has peaked as well. It's just had its a Pluto return. Its empire is now waning. It's not building. It's waning.
Yeah.
China is building. So we don't know how. Nobody knows where this is going to go. But we are absolutely in uncharted waters because mostly the great empires were more European based. They weren't Eastern based. Of our understanding of it.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole Chinese empire is so unknown to us.
Exactly.
There's literally this wall of information that we've been blocked almost. I feel in my consciousness, it's this whole world that is rich in culture and whatever, but there's been this fear element to it. You know, you can't trust, and maybe. We don't know anything, I think.
Well, I've been to China. I've traveled quite extensively in China at one point in my life. And all I'm saying is it's a very, very different culture to ours.
Yeah.
On every level. And there's nothing wrong with that because I think they must look at us and just go, what are they on? We'll just have to wait to see how it plays out. There is definitely going to be delusions or idealizations of things coming to light, and I within this, it's going to definitely be sparked off. I think by this new moon, and sense of hubris. You know, aren't we the wonderful? Well, actually, no, we're not anymore. We are all. You know, the British Empire, and call it whatever you want. And European empire and the American empire, what we have known is waning. It is not waxing.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the cycles, you know, coming back to the cycles of life. A lot of those empires are built on the destruction of other societies and cultures and things like that, and I feel that those cultures are finding their voice again. Come. I found some a week or so ago. I found out about the Sami people of Norway. Well, they live in three countries over there. What a beautiful culture, and they're still being prosecuted. Their land's being taken, kind of colonized by Israel. Yeah. So, I mean, this is still happening, but we have access to information and hopefully critical thinking in kind of integrating that information and going, hang on a minute, how, what is real? You talk about that quite often.
I do think there is going to be the beginning of explosions in the financial sector. I do. And it affect us. It will affect us. But again, rather than being scaremongering, we're saying to everyone, aren't we, Michelle, is just be prepared.
Yeah, and be true to yourself.
Yes,
don't get pulled into this show. No. It's just a show. I'm so much more aware of it. I really don't watch the news, but I do have social media and YouTube, and even YouTube is pushing these things about Trump has done this, and I almost want to get pulled in, and then I go, no, it doesn't affect me at this time. I don't need to get upset about. Yeah.
We're in uncharted waters. That's for sure, and that's scary because it doesn't feel safe. We do not know where we're heading. So I always say to people is build your inner resilience, find your tribe, find your community, find people that you trust to hang out with. And absolutely, as you say, don't go down the rabbit holes because there's going to be loads of them. Pisces feeds people illusions, delusions, stories that aren't true or fabricated. That's the lower aspect of Pisces. And this is a very strong Piscean energy. The higher aspect of Pisces is rising above it. It's a big picture. But I do like about this new moon, it's got Venus and Aries, and Venus and Aries is the warrior woman. She's
I like that.
an independent, feisty woman. And she's right next door to Chiron. And Chiron is traditionally the wounded healer. So maybe there's going to be a lot of female activism coming to the of going, no, we're not going to be doing like this. And the techno oligarchs actually need to listen to us too. So
and I feel there's a lot of that. Instead of opposing, warrior woman, but nurturing, embracing that masculine, because I've had a conversation recently around this, how the toxic masculine seems to be rising because they want to prove something, for us to restore that balance where we need the feminine and the masculine, and this beautiful the year of the green wood snake. The snake is also a symbol of that divine feminine, and I think the divine feminine is a wise woman, who is a warrior woman, but also has compassion, like Brige.
I think there is going to be. She's BOADICEA.
Yeah.
She's got that BOADICEA energy. That's what we're dealing with, coming out and going, hang on a minute, we matter too.
Yeah.
And to us matters to us. So I think that's all going to be set in motion, and I think that's going to be part of the ructions that come, because Uranus is in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus, so Venus in Aries is also ruled by Mars. So we have this unsettled, maybe rebellious activism through the woman. And I'm interested to see how this will play out.
Yeah.
He may be
And Mars is also doing some interesting things, isn't it?
well,
It's
yes, yes, he is. He's still in Cancer. Um,
mm,
going to be going direct. He's pokey energy because
mm,
Mars in Cancer is about protection. It's protection of the family, but can be overprotective, but very much protection of the homelands. What's mine? Very male energy
mm,
in a female sign. Cancer is
yeah,
female. It's ruled by the moon. So
yeah,
we've got the moon in Leo, another male sign,
yeah. The lion.
the
Yeah,
lion. So I see feisty female fighting
mm,
energy coming up.
yeah.
I do.
But what I'm trying to bring in there is that often the feisty female um, is seen as masculine, is seen as masculine, but there is a femininity in that. Like Brige is the goddess of protection as well. She's the compassion. I was just listening to some of the Irish, when the Christians came in and Christianized everything, they changed her name to Saint Bridget, or they,
Yes, the holy
and
word.
that's the only script, text that we really have, because a lot of the goddess folklore around her was word of mouth. It was spoken, but she brought in the wailing. The I am sad and I am expressing it into that Irish, um,
Yes, she was
culture. Mm.
keening.
Yeah, that's the word.
Painting of the garments, the
That's it.
coloring of the hair. That's full on goddess work. That is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the gentleness. But, I mean, I think Venus has just been going through Pisces, which was very
Mm.
gentle and nurturing and quite creative, and she's come out of Pisces going, do you know what, it's time to step up. So
Yeah, gentleness. No, I agree. No gentleness, but
she's
but
fighting
not
woman.
heady, hearty is what I mean. Maybe
Very,
it's not a masculine, um, practical driven. If that makes sense, it's more a this is real, and I will. That mother dragon mother kind of
yes.
aspect to it. Yeah.
We'll just have to see.
Mm.
It's very. She's involved in protecting the homelands, protecting what's mine, protecting the family. With
Yeah.
as Mars is ruling her, that can be quite fighty.
Yeah.
We'll just
Yeah.
have to wait and see how it transpires as February unfolds. But I would say to anyone, I'm expecting very vocal women out there, and thank God
Yeah.
for
Yes. Yes, I agree. And I'm happy to be one
yeah,
in
yeah.
as much as I can.
As much as
Yeah.
one is willing to do that, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, just doing a video like this is
Mm.
is stating, we're two women.
Yeah.
It's calling people to pay attention. That's
Yeah.
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then from there, that vibe, we then go to a new moon in Pisces. So we're going back. This
Mm.
unseen energy is so powerful. This one is particularly powerful on the 28th of February. It brings one, two, three, four, five, six, five planets into the Piscean energy.
Oh, wow.
So we've got
Wow.
we've got the Sun, the Moon, Saturn, Mercury. We've got and Neptune and the North Node.
Sure.
So this is a very intense period where the reality of life, I
Mm.
believe, is going to be under scrutiny,
Mm.
globally as well as personally. On a lower level, it could bring new insights into the sacrificial victim consciousness. There's no point doing
Mm.
anything about what's going on. While on a higher level, it invites us to understand how compassion and grace can dissolve our differences. And this is how I see this playing out. It's going to be in April. Gosh, children born around the full moon in February, they are going to be super sensitive.
New moon in February.
The new moon in February, yeah, on the 28th. Super sensitive, super creative, but also very prone to illusions, delusions. Pisces is the mystic, the artist, the poet, and the addict. So it could be that actually people want to start escaping from the reality that's going to be unfolding as the major transformation is going to be happening this year, with all the outer planets shifting into fire and air signs. Apart from Jupiter, thank goodness, that is into Cancer. So there's going to be a lot of stuff around what is home, what is safety, what does this mean, what's real, what isn't real, can I trust what I'm being told? And I'm saying to everyone, be careful what you believe, what you read, what you hear, and who you believe. There's going to be a lot of people saying a lot of stuff that isn't true.
And a lot of that is the media. A lot of that I just see this, how people are being branded into things that they might not be at all.
Yes, and absolutely time to completely trust your intuition. And your friends might be telling you something that isn't true. I had somebody who I respect enormously tell me something who I knew wasn't true. I knew it. And I said to her, do you know what? That isn't true. And she actually said to me, yes, you've got to be very careful, haven't you? And I went, absolutely.
Well, this is it. And this comes back to what we always say, know thyself, because once you know thyself, you can pick up that intuition, that it's not influenced by all this noise on the outside.
Yes. So I would say towards the end of February, we're going to be, this is globally, and because these new moons that affect everybody globally and personally, there could be a time of immense confusion going on here. We don't know what's going on. And that could be from other countries. It could be that it could be the dissolving of things that we thought were solid. I mean, God, things are dissolving enough. So there could be a lot more dissolving of what we thought was solid. So just trust your intuition. And as Michelle and I are always saying, aren't we, together, build your resilience, your inner resilience, and be a fighty woman.
Yeah. And also take it slow. I feel that it's a year of needing to pull back and slow down.
No, haven't got a chance. No. Haven't got a chance of that. And I'll tell you why, because we think last year was quick. Woo.
Yeah.
So we have Neptune. We have the Neptune moving into Aries. In March.
Yeah.
That is a whole different energy. For Neptune's been traveling through Pisces, which is its own. Happy, slow. Oh, let's all just have a that vibe. And as soon as it goes into into Aries, the gloves are off.
Aries is fire. I have an Arian in Mars.
Saturn moving in May, very quickly following it in Aries, fire. Saturn, Aries, fire. Boom! This is really a strong, fiery. It's urgent energy. Urgent. Saturn is a difficult planet in Aries fire, because Saturn wants to hold everything back and Aries wants to go off. So I would imagine there's going to be a lot. Oh gosh, I think we could see conflicts escalating. Sadly, I do. Then we have Jupiter, beautiful Jupiter, moving into Cancer water in June, which I think is going to bring relief and a sense of, oh, okay, we really need to put attention into home and what makes us feel safe.
Yeah.
And we've got Uranus boom into Gemini, an air sign, and that's going to go in with a major bang. There is no respite. There is no taking it slowly. What we need to do is learn to trust our intuition and find people around us that we can go and have a bloody good glass of wine and go, whoa.
Yeah, dancing around fires and things like that might be good.
Absolutely, yes. And don't forget that, Pluto is settling into Aquarius still. So there's another air sign. So this is all about, air is about communications. It's about technology, as things go crazy. I think there's going to be a lot more coming out about the UFOs or the drone and all of that. I think is going to be very relevant. And then you've got this fiery Aries, warlike energy.
Yeah, with the feminine aspect to it, maybe, as you said. Yeah.
Well, we need to find our feminine BOUDICEA energy. Yes.
Yeah. You have to explain BOADICEA quickly before we go.
Okay, BOUDICEA was I just love her. She was back in the Roman times, and she was the head of her tribe. I think she was an Anglo-Saxon, I think. Anyway, she fought. Apparently she had knives on her chariot wheels, and she and her daughters, her daughters fought together. So it was a very female fighting tribe going, no, you're not invading our space, home. And then the rest got her, and they did very unpleasant things to her and her daughters, and that made them even more feisty.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I remember now kind of the imagery around her brings me back to that more tribal, the Amazonites, is it the Amazonian? Yeah. All of that.
Yes. It's not being frightened of what's coming. Absolutely not. Because we've got to roll with the energies of it. But it's about seeing it for what it is, being resilient, and knowing that February, an Imoblc, is this urgent, feisty energy. It's beginning of spring. Things are happening. And we just have to be really grounded.
And be aware of the fragility, I think maybe it's the right word, of reality. How do we see reality? Because that's an interesting space to play with, maybe. I heard a nice explanation of consciousness the other day, which I'm playing with, and that is that consciousness is awareness with choice. And I like that.
Yes. Isn't that lovely?
It's lovely.
That's really good, isn't it? Yeah. And we'll just have to see, and we'll just have to, when we see each other in March.
Yes.
It's good to look back over and see what has manifested or what is manifesting. But with all that Pisces energy, we'll have to wait. And that sits at the 28th of February. So that's going to be the signature for March as well.
Yeah. Well, we chose this time, so we're in it.
I'm enjoying it.
It is.
Oh, what's going to happen next? I'm on my bench with my glass of wine and my cat, and just watching the craziness go past, going, oh, okay, what's next?
See that one coming? That's interesting. Yeah.
And being so grateful that I am safe, and I have a safe home. I have food in the fridge. I'm safe, and I've got good friends. I feel so grateful, and I practice that every day.
Yeah, and that's it. It is that gratitude and cats. I love my cat. It's my little grounding force as well. Yeah.
And being grateful just lifts you up, and you can be grateful for a bird singing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Grateful.
And exactly that is that grounding in nature. I feel such an urge for just being barefoot in this icy grass, you know, and really connecting to, as we spoke about last week, kind of, you know, looking up and feeling the earth under us, with that beautiful parade of the planets that's still kind of going on for the next couple of months, I think, until, yeah, and it's gorgeous. Have you seen those pictures of Saturn?
I've seen them physically in the sky. I mean, you can see them physically. It's fabulous. Just remember to look up. The other thing I just want to say very quickly, because it's Imbolc, maybe find go visit a holy well.
Yes.
This is the time of St. Bridget, of the holy well. So I'm going on Monday. I'm going to on Sunday. I'm going to visit a holy well, and I'm going to another one actually in Malmesbury, and I'm going to be visiting the holy well there. I just feel very called, and to enter into the waters, the holy waters, that Piscean healing energy.
Yeah. And it's also feminine, and it's also wisdom, water.
Yes, waters of wisdom.
So
that's Aquarius, you know, carrying the waters of wisdom. You may be called to go and visit the sea, or sit beside a lake, or get on a boat, or it's Pisces, water, oceans, rivers, lakes, holy well, pilgrimage.
Oh, thank you for that. And it's a happy birthday for you on Monday, I know. So it's all in this energy. It's gorgeous.
I love being born at this time of year. I love it.
Very, very good. And we will chat again next month, hopefully from South Africa. I'll be home.
Yes, that's so exciting.
Yes. So I'll bring some Southern Hemispherian energy for you.